The process to set up a Google site for the English department that I'm working with in grade 6 to allow them to have a way to share, collaborate documents, and to set up their classroom. So in the process, along with a document, I thought this screencast may help some others to see the process. First thing I would do is, after meeting with the teachers and establishing their desired results or outcomes, and make sure that I'm on the same path as them. We go along, and I've asked them to give me an Excel sheet with their class list, and what I really need is the student ID numbers and their first names for this purpose. So once they give me the class list, which they can get from their Moodle, is the files come in like this. They're Excel files, and they pretty much look like this. So you can see the student ID. So the next thing I do is I'm going to make sure that I've added their names and created their sites for them. So in here, for example, just on this end, I'm going to enter in some of the data. Edu, little comma. Okay. So I'm going to grab that information and copy it, because what I need to do is have it in a certain format on the back end in order to share that document later on. And take that last one off. Then I'm going to come over here, expand the cell a little bit, and concatenate. So I'm going to make their ID number, grab the just edu part, and the comma, and that's it. So I'm going to take that cell and copy down the signal, and there you have it, ready to copy and paste into the sharing document. So that's just what I do to get the data ready to put into play. Now the next thing I do is going over here. I've already created their sites for them. So for example, here we're going to be working with Mary's site, Miss Dindorf. So I'm going to go over here and go to Miss Dindorf's English. I've already built this in the background, so the teacher doesn't have to do any of this. And I'm going to go into more actions, and I'm going to share this site. So the first thing I want to do is make sure I change the default collaboration setting. So here right now, people at Jakarta Initiative can edit this site. So I'm going to change that to take the tick box off of anyone can edit, and then anybody can have access here. So I'm going to save that, and then your sharing window comes back up. So over here, currently, since I created, I'm the owner. I'm going to add Miss Dindorf first, and go here, and I'm going to make sure she's also the owner. And this is very important, because for the site, the owner, remember, has more abilities than an editor, because only an owner can delete a site. So I'm going to just take this little checkbox off right now. I'm not quite sure, ready to bombard her with email notifications. So I'm going to hit share, and it's going to give this message to say OK. And then I'm also going to, in the event that Ms. Dindorf is away, and her colleagues could come in at any time and help with that site when they're classroom with a sub or whatever the situation is. So I'm going to add them so they can edit her site. So I'm going to put in Rose, and it's Rose, Dana. Okay, so I'm going to put it that they can edit, and again I'm going to uncheck the send email box, and I'm going to share. So far I've shared the site with the teacher, made the teacher owner, and all the other supporting teachers in her subject area as editors. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is in this site is to be able to invite the students. So we go back to the Excel sheet that I was working on. I copy that data, and then I go back to here, and I just simply paste in their addresses so I don't have to get. So make sure that that's the default, they can edit. And again, I don't want the students to know yet that we've invited them, so I'm going to uncheck this box and hit share, and go ahead and click OK, and once in a while he wants to know that you're a real person and not a spam machine. So go ahead and put in that strange little picture and verify. And there you have it. So now this site is shared with all of Ms. Dindorf's students, and I'm the owner still, just in case they need some assistance, and then Ms. Dindorf is the owner. Okay, so I'm just going to close that and go into Ms. Dindorf's house pages here. I'm going to create a page, and in that page I'm going to put in Dindorf house, and I'm going to keep it at the top level. I'm going to create the page, and it'll take you to the page you just created, and also add a where that page is here. And so I'm going to take the layout, go ahead and go to symbol 3 column, and then go back to Ms. Dindorf's class here and grab the first names. For some reason Excel doesn't, or Google Sites doesn't like it when you go straight paste from an Excel document. So I have text editor open over here. I'm going to paste in the names from her class. I'm going to take the first 6, copy them, oops, go back to the site and start inputting their names. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops, looks like I grabbed an extra one. 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure that that's not there, and then add the rest of them. Okay, so looks like there's 5 students here. I'm going to take Michael up in the middle just because I want to keep the symmetry in there. And okay, so once I clear all this, clean it all up, oops, and then you can center it, make it a little bit easier on people's eyes. Oops. So I'm usually doing this kind of task for the teachers, and I have some music on, and I'm gonna, get myself into the groove and just continue on with everything. So get into the workflow. Okay, so then once I have everything the way I think I want it to look like, I'm going to save it. And it's saved. Now it's ready to go. So the next step is from here we will be waiting for the teachers to do a session where they will probably invite me in unless they're comfortable doing this themselves, and I will do a lesson and walk the students through how to set up their own pages. So just to give you a quick example of what it will look like once these links here for students become live, I'll show you an example from Ms. DeVoe's English 8 class. So when you go into her class, this is what her home page looks like. There's a little wordle of some writing that she did. And then when you go into her White 1 class, you can see that the same setup as I just did with Ms. Dindorf's class, except these links are now live, and they've created pages. They're just sub-pages that belong to the students because they have editing rights, and you can see these are their sub-pages. So again, go back to White 1. As a teacher, when I come in here and I want to correct these and look at each individual page, I'll just hit a student's page, and there's Lindaro's page, and he's got a reading activity Google Doc linked here. And of course this Google Doc is only shared between Ms. DeVoe and the student themselves. So if I clicked on a link, or any student clicked on a link, you would get a sorry, you're not authorized to view this page. So there it keeps the comments and the exchange between student and teacher very confidential. Of course, the student can choose to, on different writing activities, they can share with their partners and they can comment on each other's work. And again, it's all dependent on what your desired results are or outcomes for the lesson and for the purpose of the writing. I hope you've enjoyed this, and let me know if you have any questions.